I was 9 years old the first time I understood I was the spare child. It was my birthday, my actual birthday. I woke up excited because Mom had promised me a cake and Dad said he had a surprise. I spent the morning imagining what it could be. A bike, maybe, or the art set I had been staring at in the store window for months. When I came downstairs, there was no cake on the table, no decorations. Dad was on his phone, pacing in the kitchen. He barely looked up when I walked in. I stood there in my pajamas, waiting. Finally, I said very quietly, "Is the surprise coming later?" He blinked at me like he had forgotten I existed. Then his face did this thing, this flicker of realization. "Oh, right, your birthday. Listen, sweetheart, something came up. Your brother has a soccer tournament today, big one. We need to be there." My brother. My half-brother, technically. Ryan. He was 6, Dad's son from his second marriage, the one who mattered. I felt something tight in my chest, but I swallowed it down. "Okay, can we do cake after?" Dad was already grabbing his keys. "We will see. Depends how long it runs. You understand, right? This tournament is important for Ryan's development." I nodded. I always understood. That was my job. To understand. We spent 4 hours at a field watching 6-year-olds chase a ball. Ryan's team lost. Dad bought him ice cream anyway. On the drive home, I asked if we could stop for a cake. Dad sighed. "Sarah, do not be selfish. Your brother is upset. We will do something for you next weekend." We never did. That night, Mom called. My parents had been divorced since I was 4, but she still remembered. She sang happy birthday over the phone and promised to take me for pancakes on Saturday. I did not tell her about the tournament. I did not tell her that Dad forgot. I told myself it was okay. I told myself I did not mind. But I did mind. I just did not know I was allowed to. By the time I was 16, the pattern was so clear I could have drawn you a map. Ryan got a car for his 13th birthday. A used Honda, sure, but still, a car. 3 years before he could even drive it. Dad said it was an investment. "He will grow into it," he explained, like that made sense. I got my driver's license at 16 and asked if I could borrow Dad's old truck sometimes. He looked at me like I had asked for a kidney. "Sarah, that truck is for work. You can take the bus." I took the bus. Ryan played travel hockey. Do you know how much travel hockey costs? Thousands. Equipment, ice time, tournament fees, hotels. Dad paid for all of it without blinking. When I asked if I could take art classes after school, he handed me a crumpled $20 bill. "That should cover supplies for a while. You are creative. Figure it out." I figured it out. I got a job at a coffee shop. 16 years old, working 20 hours a week on top of school. I told myself it was good for me. Building character, being responsible. Dad loved that word, responsible. "You are so responsible, Sarah. Not like your brother. He needs more guidance." Translation. Ryan got attention. I got adjectives. When Ryan failed 2 classes junior year, Dad hired a private tutor, $500. When I made honor roll, Dad said, "See, you do not need help. You always figure things out." My best friend Lily noticed. We were sitting in her car after my shift one night and she said, very carefully, "Does your dad know you are working this much?" "Yeah," I said. "He is proud of me. Says I am independent." Lily's jaw tightened. "Sarah, you are 16. You should not have to be this independent." I felt something flare in my chest. Defensiveness, loyalty. He is doing his best. Ryan's mom is expensive. The divorce, the new house, it is complicated. Lily did not push, but she gave me this look, like she was watching me lie to myself and it hurt her to witness it. College was when it really crystallized. Ryan got a full ride to state school, not because of grades, because of hockey. Dad threw him a graduation party, rented a hall, invited 200 people, gave a speech about how proud he was. I got into a good school, really good, but it was private. Expensive. I showed Dad the acceptance letter with my hands shaking. They offered me some financial aid, but I would still need help with Sarah. He did not even look up from his laptop. You know I cannot afford that right now. Ryan's school might be free, but he still needs living expenses, equipment for the team, a new car since the Honda finally died. But this is my future, I said. My voice cracked. I hated that it cracked. And you are smart enough to find another way. Community college for 2 years, then transfer. Plenty of people do it. He said it like it was a gift, like he was teaching me resilience. I went to community college. I worked full-time. I took out loans. I transferred after 2 years like he suggested, and I graduated with honors. At my graduation, Dad showed up late because Ryan had a game. He stayed for 20 minutes, took one photo, and left. I told myself it did not matter. I told myself I was building my own life, independent, responsible, strong. I was 26 when I started my first real job, tech company, good salary. For the first time in my life, I had money left over after bills. I opened a savings account and promised myself something. No one would ever make me feel small about money again. Every paycheck, I moved 15% straight into that account, sometimes more. I watched that number grow, 1,000, 5,000, 20,000. It felt like proof that I did not need him, proof that I could build something on my own. By the time I was 28, I had saved $120,000. I did not tell Dad. I did not tell Ryan. It was mine, my secret, quiet victory. Then Ryan's fiancée got pregnant. Surprise. They were not married yet. Ryan was 25, working part-time at a gym, living in Dad's basement. Dad called me on a Tuesday night, voice tight with stress. "Sarah, I need to talk to you about something." My stomach dropped. That tone. I knew that tone. Ryan wants to start a business, personal training studio. He has a real plan this time, but he needs startup capital. I am tapped out. The wedding, the baby on the way. I just do not have liquid cash right now. I waited. I knew what was coming. "I know you have been saving. You are so good with money. I was thinking, maybe you could help your brother out. As an investment. He would pay you back." My mouth went dry. "How much?" 20, maybe 30,000, just to get him started. I closed my eyes. "Dad, that is my savings. I have been building that for years. I am saving for a house. And that is wonderful. But family helps family. You will have time to save again. Ryan needs this now." There it was, that word, family. I said no. My voice shook, but I said it. "I cannot, I am sorry. That money is for my future." The silence on the other end was cold. Then, "I am disappointed in you, Sarah. After everything this family has done for you. After everything this family has done for me." I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling. My chest felt tight. My hands felt cold. I kept replaying his words. Disappointed. After everything. What had this family done for me exactly? I did not know that in just a few weeks I would find out exactly how much my father valued my future, and how little he valued me. If you grew up being told you were the easy one while someone else got everything, I see you. Tell me your story below. It was a Thursday, completely ordinary. I remember because Thursdays were my favorite. Light meetings, time to actually focus on work. I grabbed coffee on the way to the office, checked my email at a red light, felt good about life. I had no idea that by the end of that day, everything I thought I knew about my father would be gone. The morning passed normally. Meetings, lunch at my desk. Around 3 in the afternoon, I got a notification on my phone, my banking app. Unusual activity alert. I almost ignored it. Probably just the fraud detection being overly cautious. But something made me click. Account balance, $117.42. I stared at the screen, blinked, refreshed. $117.42. My savings account. The one that had held $120,000 yesterday. The one I checked obsessively because watching that number grow made me feel safe. My stomach dropped. My hands went cold. I had to set my phone down because it started shaking in my grip. This was a mistake, a glitch, Banks made mistakes all the time. I would call them and they would fix it and everything would be fine. I called. The representative was polite, professional. She pulled up my account. I see a wire transfer was made yesterday evening, $119,858 transferred out. The authorization came from the secondary account holder. My brain stuttered. What secondary account holder? Let me check. The account shows 2 authorized users, you and a Mr. Robert Chen. The transfer was initiated using his credentials. Robert Chen, my father. I had added him to my account 3 years ago. He said it was just a precaution, in case something happened to me, in case of emergency. You are always so careful with money, he had said. I just want to make sure I can help if you ever need it. I had thought it was sweet, responsible. I had thought he cared. Can you tell me where the money went? My voice sounded strange, distant. The receiving account belongs to an R. Chen Jr. Ryan. My brother Ryan. Everything clicked into place, not slowly, all at once. Like someone had pulled a curtain back and behind it was a truth so obvious I felt stupid for not seeing it sooner. Dad had not asked for my money. He had just taken it. I sat in my car in the parking garage for an hour. I could not move, could not think. My phone kept buzzing. Work messages. I ignored them all. Finally, my hand stopped shaking enough to dial. Dad picked up on the 3rd ring. Sarah, hey, what's up? His voice was normal, cheerful, like he had not just stolen 8 years of my life. Where is my money? I said it quietly, carefully, giving him a chance to explain, to fix this. Silence. Then, what are you talking about? My savings account, $120,000, gone, transferred to Ryan. More silence. Then a sigh. Sarah, I was going to talk to you about that. You were going to talk to me. I repeated the words slowly, testing them. After you took it. I did not take it. I borrowed it. For Ryan. The business opportunity came up faster than expected, and he needed to move quick. I knew if I asked, you would overthink it, get anxious. I was trying to save you the stress. My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. You stole $120,000 from me to save me stress. Do not be dramatic. It is not stolen. It is an investment. Ryan will pay you back when the business takes off. You had no right. His voice changed, harder now. I had every right. I am on that account. You put me there. And frankly, Sarah, you have more than enough. You make good money. You will save it again. Ryan needs this now. He has a baby coming, a family to support. What do you need it for? You are single. You rent. It is just sitting there. Just sitting there. 8 years. Every extra shift. Every skipped vacation. Every time I said no to dinner out or new clothes or anything that was not essential. Just sitting there. I was saving for a house, I said. My voice cracked. I hated that it cracked. And you will get there. You always figure things out. You are the responsible one, remember? There it was. That word again. Responsible. The word he used to mean convenient, easy, expendable. I want my money back. Sarah, be reasonable. The money is already invested. Equipment, lease deposit, insurance. It is gone. You cannot just pull it back now. Then Ryan can get a loan. Sell the equipment. I do not care. That was my money. This is exactly why I did not tell you. His voice was cold now, angry. You are being selfish. This is your brother. Family helps family. My eyes stung, but I refused to cry. You help Ryan. You have never helped me. That is not true, and you know it. I raised you. I was there. You were there? The words came out sharp, bitter. You forgot my 9th birthday. You missed my graduation. You told me to take the bus while Ryan got a car. Do not talk to me about being there. You are twisting everything. You always do this. Always so sensitive. So dramatic. I want my money back. I said it again. steady this time. Well, you are not getting it. Not right now, maybe in a few years when the business is profitable. If you cannot handle that, that is your problem. He hung up. I sat there with the phone pressed to my ear, listening to dead air. My whole body felt numb, hollow. Then something shifted. The numbness hardened, crystallized into something else, something cold. I called Lily. She answered on the first ring. "Sarah, what is wrong?" I told her. Everything. The account, the transfer, Dad's words. When I finished, there was a long silence. Then, "Sarah, that is theft. He is on the account. I do not care. He took money that was not his without your knowledge or permission. That is fraud. That is illegal." The word hit me like cold water. Illegal. "You need to call a lawyer," Lily said. Her voice was shaking, angry. "You need to call the bank. You need to file a report." "He is my father. He is a thief." I closed my eyes, pressed my forehead against the steering wheel. If I do this, the family will never forgive me. "Good." Lily's voice was fierce. "What family, Sarah? The family that forgot your birthday? The family that took your college fund and gave it to someone else? That is not family. That is a system designed to take from you and give to everyone else." Something inside me shifted. The fear was still there. The guilt. The voice that said good daughters do not destroy their fathers. But underneath it, something harder, colder, like steel. "He thought I would just accept it," I said slowly, like always. "Yeah, he did. He called me dramatic. He is gaslighting you." I sat up straighter, wiped my eyes. "What do I do?" "You fight back." I did not know exactly what I would do yet. I did not have a plan, but I knew one thing with absolute certainty. This time, there would be consequences. That night, I did not sleep. I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop open, and for the first time in my life, I started thinking not like a scared daughter, but like someone preparing for war. If you have ever felt that shift, from pain to planning, tell me in the comments. What was your breaking point? I spent the first 3 days doing nothing but research. I sat at my desk during lunch breaks, my phone hidden under a folder, reading articles about financial fraud, elder abuse. No, not elder abuse. Reverse. What was it called when a parent stole from an adult child? Embezzlement, conversion, breach of fiduciary duty. I learned words I never thought I would need, words that made my father sound like a criminal instead of just a disappointing dad. The internet was full of stories like mine, forums where people described the exact same thing, parents with account access, money disappearing, families who called you ungrateful when you asked for it back. One thread stuck with me. A woman wrote, "My mother took $40,000 for my brother's wedding. When I confronted her, she said I was tearing the family apart. I let it go. That was 12 years ago. I am still angry. I will always be angry. Do not be me." I screenshot that, saved it. Read it every time I felt myself wavering. I learned that just because someone is on your account does not give them the right to take money for themselves or others. I learned that unauthorized transfer, even from a joint account holder, could be prosecuted. I learned the word unjust enrichment. Most importantly, I learned I was not crazy. I was not dramatic. I was not the problem. What my father did had a name, multiple names, and none of them were love. The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old books, professional, serious, the kind of place that made you sit up straighter. Her name was Elena Marsh. Lily had found her, estate and family law specialist, 50-something, gray hair pulled back, sharp eyes that missed nothing. I sat across from her desk with my folder of bank statements and felt like I was betraying my own blood just by being there. "Tell me what happened," Elena said. Not unkindly. I told her. She did not interrupt, just listened, taking notes in careful handwriting. When I finished, she looked up. "Ms. Chen, What you are describing is not a family disagreement. It has a legal name. Several, actually. My throat felt tight. Like what? Unauthorized appropriation of funds, conversion, depending on how we frame it, potentially fraud. She leaned forward. The fact that your father was an authorized user on the account complicates things, but it does not erase your rights. That money was yours. He took it without your knowledge or consent and gave it to a third party. That is actionable. Actionable. The word felt heavy, real. What are my options? Elena laid them out calmly. Criminal charges, possible but complicated, would require proving intent to defraud. Civil suit, clearer path, suing for return of funds plus damages. Demand letter first. Sometimes the threat of legal action was enough. What would you do? I asked. She looked at me for a long moment. I would start with a demand letter. Formal. Legal. Give him 30 days to return the funds. If he refuses, we file suit. But I need you to understand something. Her voice was gentle but firm. When you push back against family like this, they will push harder. They will make you the villain. They will say you are destroying the family. You need to be ready for that. I thought about Dad's voice on the phone. You are being dramatic. You are being selfish. I am ready, I said. I was not sure if I was lying. The documentation phase was methodical, almost soothing in its clarity. I pulled every bank statement from the past 3 years, highlighted every deposit I had made to that account, 15% of every paycheck, sometimes 20, bonuses, tax refunds, birthday money from my mom, every single dollar traced back to me. I screenshot the text messages between Dad and me, the ones where he asked for money for Ryan, the ones where I said no, the ones from after the theft where he called me selfish. I made copies of the account opening documents, proof that I was the primary holder, proof that the money was mine. I checked my state's recording laws, one-party consent. That meant I could record conversations without telling the other person. I downloaded an app, set it to auto-record all calls with Dad's number, every receipt, every transfer, every email, every voicemail. I saved it all. My apartment started filling with folders, color-coded, labeled, a paper trail that told the story of a daughter who built something and a father who took it. You are really doing this, Lily said one night, watching me organize documents at my kitchen table. I am really doing this. How do you feel? I thought about it. Calm. Is that weird? I thought I would feel angrier, but mostly I just feel clear. Lily smiled, sad but proud. That is because you finally stopped trying to fix him. You are just protecting yourself now. She was right. For the first time in my life, I was not trying to earn my father's approval. I was not trying to be good enough. I was just drawing a line. And that line was made of bank statements and legal statutes and 8 years of proof. The family found out I was planning something exactly 1 week after I hired Elena. Ryan called first. I almost did not answer, but I needed to hear what he would say. Sarah, hey, Dad told me you are freaking out about the business loan. Loan? He called it a loan. It was not a loan, Ryan. It was theft. Silence. Then, come on, do not be like that. Dad said you agreed to help. My jaw clenched. I never agreed. I said no. He took it anyway. Well, the money is already spent. The studio is almost ready to open. You cannot just demand it back now. That would tank everything. That is not my problem. His voice changed, harder. You are really going to do this? Sue your own father? Over money? Over money. Like it was trivial. Like it was not 8 years of my life. $120,000, Ryan. That was supposed to be my house down payment, my future. And he gave it to you without asking me. Family helps family. There it was again. That phrase. The one they used like a weapon. You are right, I said slowly. Family should help family. Funny how that only ever goes one direction." He hung up. 2 days later, Dad's wife, Ryan's mom, sent me a long text. The gist: I was being cruel. Did I not care that Ryan had a baby on the way? Did I want to destroy his dreams? This was not who I was. I was the sweet one, the kind one. What had happened to me? I deleted it without responding. Then the extended family started. Aunts, uncles, people I had not spoken to in years suddenly had opinions about my choices. Just let it go. Think about the family. This could get very ugly. Your father is heartbroken. Every message was the same. Protect the peace. Protect Dad. Protect Ryan. Protect everyone except me. I stopped explaining, stopped justifying, just said no and blocked numbers when I needed to. Elena called it flying monkeys. They send other people to fight their battles. It is a classic manipulation tactic. Do not engage. Save every message, but do not respond. So I saved them, added them to my folders, let them pile up like evidence of exactly how expendable I had always been. The night before Elena was supposed to send the demand letter, I could not sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my chest tight with something I could not name. Doubt, guilt, fear. He is still my father. The thought came unbidden, unwelcome. I remembered being 6 and Dad teaching me to ride a bike, his hands on the seat steadying me, his voice, "You got this, sweetheart." I remembered being 12 and him showing up to one of my school plays, just one, but he came. He clapped. There had been good moments, scattered through the years like breadcrumbs, not enough to sustain me, but enough to confuse me. Was I really going to destroy what was left of this family over money? Then I thought about the crumpled $20 bill, about taking the bus while Ryan got a car, about working through college while Ryan got a party, about saving for 8 years and watching it disappear in one night. I was not doing this because I hated him. I was doing this because I finally loved myself enough to stop letting him hurt me. I picked up my phone, texted Elena. "Send it." She replied immediately. "Done." 30 days. I set my phone down and waited for my heart to stop racing. It did not. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls. I did not listen to the voicemails. I knew what they would say. Instead, I made coffee, got ready for work, moved through my routine like it was any other day. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. "We need to have a family meeting. Sunday. Just close family. This has gone far enough." I stared at those words and smiled. He thought he was setting the stage for one more manipulation, one more chance to make me the problem, one more room where everyone would look at me like I was the one tearing things apart. He had no idea I had been waiting for exactly this opportunity. Would you walk into a meeting knowing it was a trap? Or would you spring a trap of your own? The house smelled the same, like old carpets and my father's cologne, that sharp, woody scent that used to mean safety when I was small. Now it just made my stomach tight. I stood on the porch for a moment before knocking. Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Dad had insisted on his house, his territory, his rules. He had no idea I had stopped playing by his rules 3 weeks ago. I had dressed carefully, business casual, navy blazer, white shirt, dark jeans, professional but not threatening. My hair pulled back, minimal makeup. I looked like someone you would trust, someone reasonable. In my bag, a leather folder. Inside the folder, 30 pages of bank statements, transfer records, and text message screenshots. Also, my phone, set to record. I knocked. Dad answered. He looked tired, older than I remembered. For a split second, I felt something twist in my chest. Then I remembered the voicemail he had left yesterday. "You are tearing this family apart. Just stop this nonsense and we can move on." Nonsense. $120,000 was nonsense. Sarah. He did not smile, did not hug me, just stepped aside to let me in. The living room was full. Ryan sat on the couch next to his fiancée, Melissa. She was visibly pregnant now, one hand resting on her stomach. Ryan's mom, Dad's wife, Patricia, sat in the armchair, arms crossed. And in the corner, someone I had not expected, Dad's older brother, Uncle Tom, the family mediator, the reasonable one. They had brought reinforcements. "Sit down," Dad said, not a request. I sat, perched on the edge of the love seat, kept my bag on my lap, my hands were steady. That surprised me. Dad remained standing, positioning himself above everyone else. Alpha move. I recognized it from every family argument I had ever witnessed. "I think we all know why we are here," he started. His voice was measured, controlled. "Sarah has made some very serious accusations, hired a lawyer, sent threatening letters, and frankly, I think it is time we address this as a family before it gets out of hand." Accusations. Not theft. Accusations. He turned to me. "Sarah, I know you are upset. I understand that. But what you are doing is not just hurting me, it is hurting Ryan, Melissa, the baby, your whole family." Patricia nodded, solemn, supportive. "This business is Ryan's future," Dad continued, "his chance to build something, to provide for his family. And yes, I used money from your account to help him. I admit that. But I did it because I knew you would say no, and I knew Ryan needed it more urgently than you did." "You are single," Patricia added quietly. "You do not have a family depending on you. Ryan does." I felt heat flash through me, pushed it down, stayed quiet. "I was going to pay you back," Dad said. "That was always the plan. But you did not even give me a chance. You went straight to lawyers, made this ugly, made this about money instead of family." Uncle Tom cleared his throat. "Sarah, your father made a mistake. He knows that. But do you really want to destroy your relationship over this? Money comes and goes. Family is forever." They were all looking at me, waiting for me to apologize, to back down, to be the good daughter who understood. I let the silence stretch, counted to 5 in my head. Then I said very quietly, "Before I respond, I have a few questions." I reached into my bag, pulled out the folder, laid it on the coffee table. Dad's eyes flicked to it. Something crossed his face. Uncertainty. "First question," I said. "When exactly did you plan to pay me back?" "We can work out a payment plan." "I did not ask for a plan. I asked when you planned to tell me you had taken the money in the first place." Silence. "Second question." I opened the folder, pulled out the first document, bank statement. "You said you borrowed it. Can you show me where I agreed to lend it?" "Sarah, we do not need to do this." Third question. I pulled out the next page, transfer receipt. "Where exactly did the $119,858 go? Itemized, please." Ryan shifted uncomfortably. Melissa's hand tightened on her stomach. "I do not have to explain my financial decisions to you," Dad said. His voice had an edge now. "You do when they involve my financial decisions." I looked up at him, met his eyes, did not blink. "That money was mine. I earned it. I saved it. You took it without asking and gave it to someone else. That is not a mistake. That is theft." "Do not use that word in my house," Dad snapped. "What word would you prefer? Embezzlement, fraud, conversion?" I pulled out another page. "I learned a lot of words in the past month. Would you like to hear them?" Patricia stood up. "You are being disrespectful." "I am being factual." I did not look at her, kept my eyes on Dad. "You said I did not give you a chance. Let me read you something." I pulled out my phone, scrolled to the text messages, read aloud. "Dad, I cannot lend money to Ryan right now. That account is for my future. Please respect that." I looked up. "I sent that 3 months before you took the money. You had your answer. You just did not like it." Dad's jaw clenched. "That is not the same." Then there is this voicemail. I hit play. My own voice filled the room. younger, shakier. "Dad, please, I worked so hard for that money, I need it back." Then his voice, cold, dismissive. "Well, you are not getting it. Not right now. If you cannot handle that, that is your problem." I stopped the recording. The silence was deafening. Ryan was staring at Dad. Melissa looked pale. Uncle Tom had gone very still. "You told them I was being unreasonable," I said softly. "You told them I agreed to help and then changed my mind. You told them I was tearing the family apart." I stood up. "You lied." "I did what I had to do for this family," Dad said, but his voice shook. "No." I picked up my folder. "You did what you always do. You took from me and gave to Ryan. You told yourself it was fair because I am strong, because I always figure things out, because I do not need help." I looked at Ryan. He could not meet my eyes. "But here is what you never understood." I turned back to Dad. "Just because I survived your neglect does not mean it was not neglect. Just because I became independent does not mean I did not need a father. And just because I did not fight back before does not mean I was okay with it." Dad's face had drained of color. His hands were shaking. "You taught me that actions have consequences." My voice was calm, steady. "I finally learned that lesson. From you." I walked toward the door. "Sarah, wait." Dad's voice cracked. I stopped, did not turn around. "If you pursue this, you will lose this family." I looked back over my shoulder. "I already did. I just did not know it until you sold it for $120,000. I walked out. Behind me, I heard raised voices. Patricia crying. Ryan saying something sharp. Uncle Tom's deeper voice trying to calm everyone. I did not stop. Did not look back. The cold air hit my face, and I took the first full breath I had taken in 2 hours. My phone buzzed before I even reached my car. Message after message. But I did not read them. Not yet. I had waited years for this moment. They could wait one night to process what had just happened. If someone who hurt you your whole life finally saw who you really are, would you feel victory, or would you feel something more complicated? The messages started before I even got home. "Ryan, you just humiliated Dad in front of the whole family. Are you happy now?" Patricia, "I cannot believe you recorded him. That is illegal. We are getting our own lawyer." Uncle Tom, "Sarah, that was harsh. He is your father. Please reconsider before this goes too far." I turned my phone face down and drove. My hands were shaking now. The adrenaline was wearing off, and in its place, a strange emptiness. I had expected to feel triumphant, powerful. Instead, I felt hollow, tired. And underneath it all, a tiny voice asking, "Did you just destroy your own family?" I pushed the voice down, kept driving. By the time I got home, I had 43 messages. I read exactly one. From Lily. "How did it go?" I called her. She answered immediately. "I played the voicemail," I said. My voice sounded flat. In front of everyone. His voice calling me dramatic, saying I would not get my money back. Oh my God. What did he say? Nothing. He just stood there. He looked small. Good. Lily's voice was fierce. He should look small. He is small. I sank onto my couch. "Lily, I think I just lost my whole family." "No, you just stopped pretending you had one." The next week was chaos. The family split cleanly into camps. Patricia stopped speaking to me entirely. Ryan sent one more text. "You will regret this," then nothing. Radio silence. But others surprised me. Dad's younger sister, Aunt Marie, called. "I heard what happened at the house. Your father called me, very upset, so I asked him directly. Did you take Sarah's money without asking?" She paused. He tried to explain it away, make excuses, but he never said no. Her voice softened. "Honey, I am so sorry. If I had known he was treating you like this all these years." "You did know," I said quietly. "Everyone knew. They just thought it was normal." Silence. Then, You are right. We did, and I am sorry for that too. Two of my cousins reached out. Both said the same thing. We always thought it was weird how different he treated you and Ryan. We just did not want to make waves. The waves had been made. The family was drowning in them. Elena called on a Thursday, 2 weeks after the confrontation. He wants to settle. My heart jumped. What? His lawyer reached out. They want to negotiate a repayment plan outside of court, avoid the public record, avoid the messiness. He said he would never pay me back. That was before he realized you were serious. That was before his brother apparently told him he was in the wrong. And that was before his wife started asking questions about where exactly the money went. I sat down. What are they offering? Full repayment over 3 years. No interest. In exchange, you sign an NDA and agree not to pursue criminal charges. 3 years. Not ideal. But my money back. All of it. What do you think I should do? Elena was quiet for a moment. I think you already won, Sarah. He admitted wrongdoing by offering to pay you back. He admitted he cannot face a public trial, and he admitted you were right. She paused. The question is, what do you want? Justice or revenge? What is the difference? Justice is getting made whole. Revenge is making him suffer. I thought about it. About Dad's face that day in the living room. About the messages from family members. About the business Ryan had opened with my money. It was struggling, I had heard. Barely breaking even. They were already suffering. I want my money back, I said. That is all I ever wanted. Then we take the deal. The settlement took 2 months to finalize. Dad had to sell the vintage car he had been restoring. The one he loved more than anything. The one he had never let anyone touch. He had to take out a loan, restructure his retirement, cut back on expenses. I found this out through Aunt Marie, who heard it from Patricia, who was furious. He is 62 years old, Patricia had apparently said, and now he has to work extra years because of this. Because of this. Not because he stole, because I asked for it back. The first payment came exactly on schedule. $40,000 cashier's check, no note. I deposited it and felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not relief, just a strange sense of closure. The man who had bragged about his financial success for years was now explaining to relatives why he had to sell his car, why he could not help with Ryan's next crisis, why retirement was being pushed back, and I was the villain in their story. The ungrateful daughter who valued money over family. I could live with that. Ryan called 6 months after the confrontation. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Sarah? His voice was quiet, strained. Can we talk? About what? About everything. About what happened. I waited. The business is failing. He said it quickly, like ripping off a bandage. I am closing it next month. I cannot afford the overhead. The market is saturated. I was naive. I am sorry to hear that. Are you? There was no accusation in his voice, just honest curiosity. Yes, I never wanted your business to fail, Ryan. I just wanted my money back. Silence. Then, I did not know he took it without asking. He told me you agreed, said you wanted to help. Would it have mattered if you knew? More silence, longer this time. I do not know, he finally said. I wanted to believe him. It was easier than questioning it. At least he was honest. Melissa left me, he said suddenly, took the baby, said I was too much like Dad, that I let him control everything. I did not know what to say to that. I am not asking for sympathy, Ryan continued. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. The pattern, the way he pitted us against each other, made you the responsible one and me the one who needed saving. Neither of us got a real father. We just got roles to play. My throat tightened. Yeah. I do not know if we can ever be close, he said, but I wanted to say I am sorry for all of it, for taking your money, for not questioning it, for calling you selfish when you were just protecting yourself. I closed my eyes. Thank you. Do you think you will ever forgive him? I thought about Dad, about the payments that came every month like clockwork, about the fact that he had never called to apologize, never acknowledged what he did was wrong, just paid and stayed silent. I do not know if forgiveness is the right word, I said slowly. I know I have stopped letting his choices define my life. I know I have stopped waiting for him to become someone he is not. Is that forgiveness or just acceptance? I do not know either. We talked for another 20 minutes, carefully, like strangers learning each other's language. It was not reconciliation, but it was honest, and that was more than we had ever had before. I started therapy 3 months after the settlement. My therapist, Dr. Rivera, asked me in our first session what I wanted to work on. I thought I would feel triumphant, I told her. I got my money back, I stood up for myself, I did everything right, but mostly I just feel tired and sad. What are you sad about? I mourned the father I never really had. She nodded. That is grief. You are grieving the relationship you deserved but never got. Is it revenge if you are simply refusing to be destroyed anymore? She smiled, gentle, knowing. No, Sarah, that is called survival. I cried in her office that day, not because I regretted what I did, but because I finally let myself feel what it cost me. Justice is not free. Even when you win, you lose something. The fantasy that maybe someday they will change. The hope that family means what it is supposed to mean. But underneath the grief, something else grew. Slowly, quietly. Strength. Not the kind people praise. Not the kind that makes you a martyr. The kind that lets you walk away from people who hurt you and build something better with your own hands. Is it revenge if you are simply refusing to be destroyed anymore? A year and a half later, I woke up to sunlight streaming through windows that belonged to me. My apartment. My name on the lease. Paid for with money I earned and saved and protected. No one could take it. No one had access to my accounts except me. I made coffee in a kitchen that was quiet but not empty. Not the hollow quiet of loneliness. The peaceful quiet of a life built on my own terms. My phone sat on the counter. No anxious messages, no guilt trips, no demands disguised as family obligations. Just a text from Lily asking if I wanted to grab brunch and a reminder about my therapy appointment on Wednesday. I sipped my coffee and looked around. Plants on the windowsill that I actually remembered to water. Art on the walls that I chose. A bookshelf filled with things I wanted to read, not things I thought I should read. Small things, quiet things, but they were mine. This was what freedom looked like. Not dramatic, not triumphant, just peaceful. Work was going well, better than well. I had gotten a promotion 8 months ago, senior analyst. It came with a raise significant enough that I had started saving again. This time, the only name on the account was mine. But more than the money, I had found something else. Confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you can protect yourself. From knowing you can draw a line and hold it even when everyone tells you to erase it. In meetings, I spoke up more. When someone tried to take credit for my work, I corrected them calmly. When my manager asked me to take on extra projects without extra compensation, I said no without apologizing. You have changed, my coworker Maria said one day over lunch, in a good way. You seem more solid. Solid. I like that word. Not hard. Not cold. Solid. Like I had found my foundation. I had started dating again, too. Nothing serious yet, but I noticed something different in how I approached it. I did not ignore red flags anymore. I did not make excuses for behavior that made me uncomfortable. I did not shrink myself to make someone else feel bigger. The first time a date said something dismissive and I simply stood up and left, I felt something click into place. I did not owe anyone my time just because they wanted it. I did not owe anyone a second chance just because they asked for one. I had learned to love myself enough to be selfish, and it turned out that was not selfish at all. It was just healthy. I spoke to Dad twice a year now, birthdays and major holidays, brief, polite conversations that stayed surface level. How is work? How is the weather? Generic pleasantries between people who shared blood but not trust. He never apologized. Not really. Once, about a year after the settlement, he said, "I hope we can move past all that unpleasantness." Unpleasantness. Like he had served me cold coffee instead of stealing my future. I just said, "I have moved past it. I hope you have too." We had not, but we were both pretending. And that was the best we could do. The final payment came 6 months ago, $40,000, right on schedule. No note, no acknowledgement. I deposited it, sat in my car in the bank parking lot, waited to feel something, victory, closure, satisfaction. I felt tired, relieved, and quietly, solidly, okay. Ryan and I texted occasionally, carefully. He had moved to another state, started over. He sent me a photo of his daughter once. She had his eyes. We were not close. We probably never would be. But we were honest, and that was something. Aunt Marie checked in every few months. We got lunch sometimes. She never made excuses for Dad, and I appreciated that. "I wish I had said something sooner," she told me once. "I wish we all had." "You are saying something now," I said. "That counts for something." The rest of the family stayed distant. Patricia blocked me on everything. Uncle Tom sent a Christmas card, but nothing else. My cousins liked my social media posts, but did not comment. We were not the family from the Christmas cards, but we were honest. And that was enough. People ask me sometimes if I regret it, if the peace I have now was worth the family I lost. I thought about that question for a long time. Then I realized I did not lose a family. I escaped a system that was never designed to include me. For 28 years, I played a role. The easy daughter, the responsible one, the one who did not need help because she always figured things out. That role kept the family functioning. It kept Dad comfortable. It kept Ryan enabled. But it was killing me. Slowly, quietly, in ways I did not even recognize until I almost had nothing left. I learned that family is not about whose blood runs in your veins. It is about who shows up when you are breaking. It is about who protects you, not who you have to protect yourself from. I learned that setting boundaries is not cruelty. It is survival. I learned that forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. You can release anger without letting toxic people back into your life. I learned that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop trying to be brave. Stop trying to be strong. Stop trying to earn love from people who are never going to give it freely. I learned to measure my value not by how much I could give, but by how well I protected what was mine. And I learned that grief and relief can exist in the same breath. You can mourn what you lost and celebrate what you gained. Both things can be true. I still think about that crumpled $20 bill sometimes. The one Dad handed me when I was 23. The one that was supposed to cover a month of expenses while my brother got thousands. I wonder if he remembers it. I wonder if he understands what it cost him. Probably not. People like that rarely do. But I remember, and I learned. I learned that every small indignity I swallowed taught him he could take more. Every time I made myself smaller, he made himself bigger. Every time I forgave without accountability, I taught him there were no consequences, until there were. My apartment is quiet this morning, peaceful. The coffee is good. The sunlight is warm. My savings account grows steadily every month. I did not get the father I deserved. I did not get the family I needed. I did not get an apology or acknowledgement or even basic respect. But I got something better. I got myself back. And that, it turns out, was worth everything. If you were in my place, would you have done the same? Or would you have kept the peace and paid the price forever? If this story touched something in you, if you have your own version of this battle, I want to hear it. Drop your story in the comments. We are not alone in this. Every person who stops accepting crumbs is someone who is choosing themselves, and that is not selfish. That is sacred. And if you want more stories like this, stories about people who stopped being doormats and started being survivors, subscribe and hit that bell. There are more truths to tell, more battles to fight, more people who need to hear that choosing yourself is not betrayal. It is freedom.